back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about the top products for YouTube content creators. These are all the things you need if you are looking to start a channel. I'm giving you some helpful information, my favorite products, and all the things you need when you're starting off. I don't think it's important to start off with the fanciest of equipment and backdrops and everything like that. You can literally start with just some few key products. So if you'd like to see what those items are, please keep watching. Okay, so if you don't know anything about me, I started my YouTube channel 6 years ago, and I've had quite a bit of growth for myself, staying in my own lane, and I've done so being able to just use a lot of common items or just finding the best specific type of items. So this is a list of things that I've compiled because oftentimes people reach out to me and they're like, I want to start a YouTube channel, I want to be an Instagram blogger, but I don't know where to start. What equipment do I need? Is there a certain camera that I need? Do I need a ring light? Do I need backdrops? Do I need to hire an editor? Like, these are questions that people have, and you will probably be surprised to know that you really don't need to go out and spend a ton of money on fancy equipment. A lot of times you can just use the simple equipment you have at home, and that works just fine. Okay, so of course, to become a YouTube content creator, the first thing you need is a device to shoot your footage on. So for a lot of people starting out, a good thing to use would be your cell phone. So for me, I have an iPhone 11. Now that I'm doing weekly vlogs while we're in quarantine, I'm using my iPhone 11 for all that footage. Now, for the video I'm recording today, I'm actually using my Canon G7X. That is the camera that I found that works the best when you're just getting started, or maybe you're like a year or so into your journey and you want to invest a little bit of money, but you don't want to spend like $2,000 or $3,000 on a camera. It has decent quality. It has a flip up screen so where you can actually see yourself when you're recording. And for me, I found that that's what's most important. When I'm filming, I like to be able to make sure I'm in focus, make sure the lighting is right. Maybe I need to make sure that certain things that are in the background aren't seen. So really, having a viewfinder is essential for me. I used to start off just using a regular digital camera that I recorded on, but having a viewfinder makes it so much better. I cannot tell you the amount of time starting off that I filmed a complete video, was satisfied with it, then I went to edit it, and it was not in focus. So having a viewfinder just makes life a little more easy because you can tell whether or not you're in focus or how the lighting is in your surroundings before you go into that post-production mode, so you don't have to waste a ton of time. Use something with a viewfinder. It can make your life so more simple. Now, if you're not really into spending as much money as this camera was, I believe it was like $700 when I got it, you could always use an app. So if you want to just get a regular Canon camera and you don't have a viewfinder, you can download the Canon Connect app, but I'll put the name down below in the description box, and you can actually use your camera as a viewfinder or a monitor. So whatever is being recorded on your camera will be displayed on your phone, and you can check to see whether or not you're in focus or anything like that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to recommend is a ring light or filming in front of natural sunlight. So all of my videos that I film here on my channel that are in my filming room, my get ready room, they are done in front of a large set of windows and natural sunlight. I like filming during the day. I like filming in front of my windows, but another great thing to do is to get a ring light, and I will link a few down below, and then you can have more flexibility in terms of filming. So when I worked a traditional 9-to-5 outside of the home, it was hard for me to film videos when I got home because more often than not, it was dark outside. So having a ring light really gives you more flexibility in terms of filming. Now, I think a lot of people are like myself and they choose to capitalize on time that they have at home when the sun is out and it's bright, because those are going to be your best filming days. But it is a lot easier to have some type of ring light. You could even get like softbox lighting or something like that, but it's really easier to have a lighting system so that you have the most flexibility in terms of filming. Now, this is not something that a lot of people are going to want to do when you're getting started at first. A lot of people don't want to spend $100 or $200 or $300 on a ring light or something of the sort. So my recommendation would be just setting your camera or filming device up on a tripod and filming in front of a window. You always want to have your camera kind of in front of the natural light so that the natural light is being cast onto you. So that brings us into the next item I want to talk about. It is a tripod. So I'm actually going to link the actual Manfrotto tripod that I have down below. I think I've had about 2 tripods in the past. This is the best tripod for the price that I have ever found. I love it because it has a little hook on it where you can easily release your camera. You don't have to turn your camera around and around and around on a screw to actually release your camera from the base of the tripod. It's just a one action move and you can remove it. I also like it because it's a very smooth, sturdy tripod. There are many different heights you can have it at. It leans this way, it goes forward, it tilts back. This is the best tripod I have found. Now, of course, when I first started off on my channel, I used probably a $20 tripod. I want to say this one is about around 50 or so, or at least that's what it was when I bought it. But this is definitely something you want to invest in, especially if you're careful with your products. A $50 tripod can last you way over 10 years, but that's definitely something you want to invest in, something that's super sturdy, because you are going to be filming sometimes and your tripod may fall over. That one hand action release really just was the selling point of this tripod for me. Now, I would recommend having 2 more tripods. So the second type of tripod is going to be a tripod for taking pictures. So that's going to be a tripod for your cell phone or maybe a smaller camera, but I find that really useful if you're going to incorporate different platforms of social media. So for me, for Instagram, I like to be able to take my own pictures. 9 times out of 10, the pictures that you see on my Instagram are pictures that I've taken myself. So if that means getting my smaller tripod, putting it on the ground, setting my camera up, and taking my own pictures, you literally have to get creative when you are running a one-woman or a one-man show, and having a smaller tripod makes it really great. You can also use it to go live on Instagram. You can use it on your tabletop when you're on FaceTime. So having a smaller travel-friendly tripod is great. It's also great for doing vlogs. So I actually got this tripod years and years ago, my travel one. I'll link it down below. I cannot find it for the life of me, but it's really amazing when you're vlogging because you can use your regular camera on it. So I have a tripod that I use for my actual camera phone, and then I have a tripod that I use for my camera. But you know, I wouldn't bring around like a 5-foot telescoping tripod day to day when I'm vlogging out and about in public. So having something handheld that you can use in public just really makes it easier because you can get better angles without having to hold this heavy camera. So I really like having a travel or a vlogging tripod. And the third kind is going to be a car tripod, a car mount. So if you're like me and you want to do vlogs on your channel, having a car mount for your camera is really essential. Now, once again, if you're going to vlog on your phone, you might just want to get one for your phone. But if you are going to use a traditional camera, I will link the one I have down below. I want to say it's the Sony Action Cam mount or something like that. It's super sturdy. I've had it for years, and it just really simplifies things because you can mount it in your car. It has like a little suction cup, and every time you put your camera on the mount, it will be in the perfect position and you don't have to worry about making sure everything looks great. Having a car mount tripod made things so much easier when I was using my big camera to vlog. Okay, now along with your travel vlogging tripod, one thing I actually want to mention is a Bluetooth camera like phone shutter button. And this is something that I actually received from a brand with a tripod not too long ago, but I actually didn't end up liking the tripod, so you never saw anything about it on my channel. But they included this little clicker, and it's perfect because you can use your phone with this button and take your own photos. So once again, if you're like myself and you shoot the majority of your content from your phone, this is great. If you want to use your actual cell phone to shoot videos, or you want to use this to shoot a thumbnail and you want it to look natural, this little button will really come in handy. So that's something that I've discovered a little more recently that is really super important. And I want to say you can get them on Amazon for like $5 to $6. That's an excellent little product. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is a top product for YouTubers, but it's also optional. I don't use one of these, but it is something that I'm looking into. It is an external microphone. Like I said, because I shoot in a room and there's not a lot of noise in the background, not a lot of distraction, I don't really need an external mic, but I have thought about getting it just to kind of amp up the quality of my videos. I think sometimes when you have background or you're using backdrops and you use a microphone, it just sounds a little more professional, but sometimes you have to really be careful of necklaces and hair and clothes hitting the microphone. But having an external microphone really helps for a lot of people, especially if you're doing particular types of videos. Let's say you're going to be doing a lot of voiceover for gaming or product reviews or for beauty tutorials. An external microphone really can come in handy because then you don't even have to set up a full camera to use the microphone. You can use your external mic. So I will link the one down below that I was recommended from someone who's actually a YouTuber as well, and they said this would be the best microphone for me. Okay, now I want to get into editing. Now, I have a MacBook, so I edit on iMovie. That is the only software that I have ever edited on, but that is what I'm going to recommend. So, you have iMovie. I want to say on Windows, you have Windows Movie Maker. There's also Final Cut Pro, which is something that I do want to invest in, but if you're starting out, start with whatever software comes standard on your computer, or something that's easily downloadable that doesn't cost any money. The reason why I say that is when you're getting started with editing, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Editing is probably the #1 thing that people have questions about because it can be rather intimidating, especially if you don't have a background in graphics or editing or anything like that. You're like, how am I going to take all these raw files and convert them to an actual edited movie? But it's honestly not that hard. There are some YouTube tutorials on editing. I will link them down below. I know people have reached out to me in the past for me to help them edit, but honestly, unless you're on FaceTime or in front of that person, it's really hard to tell them how to edit. But my tips for editing would be to keep it nice and simple when you're starting out. You might want to have background music, you might not want to, but literally just cut out all the unnecessary things out of your video and piece everything else together, and that is your video. You could have like intros, you could have outros, but when you're getting started, unless you're really into things like that, I wouldn't say it's too necessary. When I'm looking for somebody new to subscribe to, it doesn't matter what their intro or outro looks like. I'm honestly just looking at the quality content that they're putting out there. But as you kind of get yourself into the creative mode of YouTube, you might find yourself wanting to increase your graphics and your editing and your audio and things like that. But starting out, honestly, if you just have a picture flashing, if you put a title and maybe some music in it, that is all you need. If later on down the line you do decide that you want to have a fancy intro or maybe some custom music, download the app Fiverr. It is Fiverr, and I'll also place it down below in the description box, but that is a wonderful resource. When I had my first intro and outro on my page, like my first actual edited one that was like fancy, I used Fiverr, and Fiverr is basically a place for creators to come together and be able to sell services to you. So you can use that app to actually pay for someone to create an intro for you. So some people, maybe they don't know how to create intros, or maybe they just don't want to dedicate time to do that. You can pay money on that app to have people create graphics and intros and outros for you so that all the work is done by them. Pay a pro, I promise it will pay off. Okay, now I want to kind of talk about thumbnails because that is something that I have kind of gotten more into since like January-ish, and it's something that has honestly been a game changer on my channel. I used to not really be concerned with thumbnails because I know that I've always put out great quality content, but you have to realize it's not just about you knowing the content that you put out. It's really about marketing yourself, and a thumbnail is really all about marketing. Now, I know some people don't like catchy thumbnails or clickbaitish thumbnails, and everyone kind of rides a fine line between it being great marketing or it being clickbait. Now, besides all of that, because we don't need to get into that, I'm going to tell you how to make some bomb thumbnails. So the first thing you should do is go to Canva, www.canva.com. I will actually place a link down below. And Canva is amazing because anything you want to do online, and I'm giving you guys some free game, you can use Canva. I'm not going to tell you all the ways I use Canva because like that's giving away too much free tea, but honestly, Canva is the best resource. Now, one thing I will say is don't download the app on your phone because it is super hard to use that one. Go ahead and log on to a desktop or a laptop, something like that. And there are so many useful resources on Canva. You can make the best thumbnails, and that's when your Bluetooth photo capture and your travel tripod or your handheld tripod, that is when those things are going to come in handy when you are trying to make the perfect thumbnail. Now, I also want to say, if you're like myself and you're not into photography, you're not a photographer, but you can take a good picture, as in capture the essence that you wanted, use photo presets. I worked with a wonderful woman on Instagram a few months back, and I want to say her page is called Nikki Presets, but I will of course post it down below. She has some amazing presets that you can use with the app Lightroom. This is more free game for you guys. If you download the Lightroom app on your phone, you can take a picture and turn it into something that looks like it was edited by a photographer. Once again, this has been a game changer for me on my Instagram page. I'm someone, I know how to take a picture, but more than that, I just know how to increase the brightness, the contrast, take away some of the saturation. Like, that's the extent of what I can do, but I did all of that in Instagram. What I'm finding though is that when I use my photo presets in the Lightroom app, you just get quality photos that look like a photographer edited them. So this is a great way to enhance like the look of your Instagram feed or the look of your YouTube thumbnails without having to spend a ton of money. I want to say you can buy a bundle of her photo presets for like $10 to $25, and it honestly increases the look of your photos. Now, more things go into thumbnails and taking pictures for Instagram, such as knowing the correct angles, knowing how to take your flat lays or things like that, but those can be Googled, or you can buy courses about how to do that. But honestly, having your photo presets in the Lightroom app and Canva will really get you started with what you need to have amazing thumbnails and great content on Instagram. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Like I said, people reach out to me all the time wanting to know what they need to start their channel. Are there any like special things that people don't know about? So I gave you guys a little bit of free game in this video, but honestly, if you are thinking about becoming a YouTube content creator, go for it. Take the first step, be true to yourself, be consistent, upload content that you believe in, and use your analytics. Your analytics are going to guide the type of quality content that your audience wants to see. So best of luck to you guys. Let me know if this video was helpful down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.